Yo, good morning, boys. So, quick outlook today. I was not able to trade on my laptop, on my computer today, as I was doing stuff in my life, so I couldn't be on the charts. I did trade on my phone, so I'm gonna show you real quick what it did. Um, Briefly, I just wanna go over CL as I've been calling this oil higher for a while, and now we are seeing the bias playing out, and this is pretty cool. I also call out this as high resistance liquidity, but I want to see price going through it and act like a magnet into this CB resting there. So far, everything being played out. We left this open. This is a classic signature that you see when price is very strong. So if you're bullish, you want to see fair value gaps left open. So you can see how also I call this as an inversion fair value gap. Today was confirmed, and we did as little as this week, and then we continue higher. So if we go on the 4-hour, we can see how this is taking place in an amazing way, which we've been calling longs all the way down here and up here on this fair value gap. Now you see the order flow playing out really nicely. Yesterday I wasn't really into longs before price went above the new week opening up. If you can go on the video I posted yesterday or a few days ago. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. And I've been talking about how I wanted price to kind of make bullish signatures here, because we were trading around the daily fair value gap, and I want to see that being an inversion. And as you can see, the new week opening up was traded on the sell side of the curve and the buy side of the curve. So we done the work there. We tapped again it, and then we continue. And today we did open a little new day opening gap, as you can see here. And then price was pretty much bullish all the way up into this liquidity that now I treat it like a range, which I want to see, getting really quickly in there and not getting any resistance. Right now you can see another bullish reaction. When the market is bullish and it's trending, it's rather easy to trade. As you can see, any opportunity that presents is a very good run for longs. So I really suggest to check this chart, mainly the charts you like on the higher time, because when the higher time is that clean, then you can catch a really good swing longs. Well, enough for this. Let's go on Nasdaq. Again, today we had CPI numbers, so it was a little bit busy, but again, our levels still are the same. I'm not deleting anything. This is our volume imbalance. We just tapped in. As you can see, yesterday we stayed inside the volume imbalance. I had this order block mapped out on the chart, as I really expected sensibility around it on this week and today too. As you can see, the fair value gap here was respected perfectly. We don't want to see price going through it if we're still aiming for this monthly high and this fair value gap on the left. So as you can see, we do have a big SMT on ES, so that's a little bit of trouble. So we're gonna find out if price will keep going higher or not. But for the meanwhile, we check Nasdaq. Again, we left 3 days stuck below us on a volume imbalance. If we drop on the 4-hour, now all the daily levels are the same. So this is the order block on the daily. As you can see on the 4-hour, it's getting a little bit busy here. As you can see, price dropped here, continue higher. We did a big accumulation over here on the daily levels, nicely respected, and we did an imbalance here coupled with the order block on the daily. So this was like a really high probability area for resistance. Today, as we can see, price tapped that after taking the buy side, where on the volume imbalance. And technically, this is also like a daily new day opening up. It was kind of large because I remember there was a bank holiday that day, so I don't want to keep it like this. I'm gonna just go for the volume imbalance on the daily. So if you're wondering why I'm not taking that week, that's the reason. but we can still see a lot of sensibility with this week and this one here. So we can drop on the 1 hour, and again, I'm gonna show you the profiling, but give me a moment. So far, so today is Tuesday. Again, this is the new week opening up over there. So as you can see, price opened the week and dropped lower, making an S&Ts on VDS on daily levels. So all of these were nice signatures for continuations higher. After we ran the buy side, we came lower here and we start doing what? Smooth edges. What is this? This is classic PA that gets taken. Why? Because this is low PPA. And we know that price, when it makes a low and a strong low, usually runs this liquidity. As you can see here, as you can see, these lows, they're not like this. This is drop PPA. This is like Asia session for us. So once again, what we see today, price trading around the new week opening up, getting some rejections, then going through it, and then reaching the buy side, also tapping into the volume imbalance, then going to the order block and getting again into the volume imbalance. So this is pretty bad PA, I would say, but we can still see some signatures inside of it. So let's go on the 15-minute, and on the 15-minute, yeah, you know, you can already see it. Like, to me, it's really jumped to my highs when I see this type of PA. This is like a very choppy environment when you see accumulations here. We know I have a line here on the daily open, 18 p.m. and then we do, no, sorry, that's 6 p.m. and this is midnight open. So I draw a line with the midnight open, and I do want to see the manipulation above it or the manipulation below it, and I try to position myself away from it and going through it. So that's a key factor. Now when we drop on the 1 minute, you're gonna see it better, but I just want to allow you to see the 15-minute a little bit. And again, this is Monday price action. This is previous day high. So, you know, pretty much this was previous day high, and here we have previous day low. So those were two pools of liquidity, and the weekly high was already taken yesterday. And then the only thing resting here is Asia liquidity, London liquidity in form of equal lows. And what is this? This is 830 liquidity, CPI number liquidity. That's a very strong pool. And this is also the 830 open, so New York open. Another key factor for premium and discount of the range in a short term. So you can use that as the midnight open, as I mentioned before. So let's go on the 1 minute. I'm gonna keep the 1 hour on the left side chart. No, I'm gonna keep the 4 hour on the left side chart. Okay, so now things are gonna be really technical here. And again, you can see all the chart, right? So the levels I'm referring to are the daily ones, and I'm also including this daily, well, yesterday first presented fair value gap, really key level, as yesterday we didn't even use that, right? We just pulled away from it. Now today someone told me that my concepts are pattern trading, so that made me laugh today. Anyways, so we have a 30 open. As we can see, we find ourselves in a short-term premium at the open, as well as the midnight. You know, we find ourselves above the midnight, and we find liquidity right below the midnight, right above it actually, and we find sell-side liquidity resting below London lows. So amazing sell-side liquidity. Plus we do have the daily current low with Asia liquidity underneath us, and randomly we do have our order block and first presented from Monday that left open. So again, remember yesterday price action, put these levels on your chart because they are key. So what happened here? We do have an SMT right at the open. The regular trending hours gap today was rather small. As you can see, it was pretty much I think it was nothing, and it was like around, so this is the open, this is the other close. It was around 30 points, no, 10 points, like it was really small. Usually we don't see that, but we tend to do, well, the projections I like usually tend to have a 100 or below points. Today we had a very small gap, and so I use this as a fair value gap. And usually this comes with choppy price action. As you can see, this wasn't the best price action ever. It was really choppy, it was difficult to trade, so it was high resistance liquidity run. Again, we left equalize, not particularly in front of that, but if we go on regular trading hours, we can see that we did actually took previous day high, that was regular trading hour liquidity high, and there is nothing left. Okay, so this is a key factor. Why? Because this is liquidity, it's an important level of liquidity, and it's PDH, and it was taken at the open, so it was not electronic trading hours. As you can see on ES, we didn't had, so that's weakness on ES, and it's a crack on correlation, so that's a real SMT. Okay, so that's a key factor to then find this trade, which presented the first presentation fair value gap right here. As you can see, this fair value gap destroys this swing high. Okay, so we go through this high and we make a fair value gap. This is a true fair value gap. Price goes above it. In another time frame, you find out that this is a wick, because if you already go on the 3 minute, or let's do on the 5 minute here, we do have a wick. I'm always checking the other chart on my left side chart. Anyways, we got that wick, we made this fair value gap, and price goes immediately right through it at 943. Then price comes back and leaves what? This little gap open. Again, if I'm bearish, I want to see CB staying open, and I want price to go quickly below the swing lows. In this case, price ranged a little bit, and I start entering in my short positions. You can see it on my Discord channel. If you're not in, just leave a comment and I'm gonna add you there. I post everything there. So I started executing around the 50% of this first presented fair value gap. My stop was above this high. I didn't want to see this fair value gap stay open, and then once price started moving below these lows, I started reducing my stop above it, and then once we went through this one, I then moved my stop to the 50% of it, and then went risk free. As you can see, price goes down, comes back into the volume imbalance and taps the first presented fair value gap and drops again. We use the opening range gap as a fair value gap, and as you can see, when price goes down, we take a partial here because we tap New York open, and then another partial here, rather small partials I would say, because we do still have a bunch of liquidity underneath us. So I would say if you are with 10 contracts, just take 2 off, maybe 2 more here, and then run the other side to the downside. And as you can see, price gets rejected here, coupled with the new week opening up. Price doesn't even go through it so much and quickly comes back down. So I saw many people taking this inversion, but I guess it wasn't really, I don't know why they took that. I mean, I understand, because when I saw this fair gap, I was like, okay, I don't want to see this one getting closed, and it was closed. But the reason for that is because this is not a low resistance liquidity run. As you can see, fair value gaps were always traded and closed. So this was not really an inversion fair value gap, because this was not a low resistance liquidity run, and we still had the draw intact. So when I saw that, then of course you're still holding the trade, and then ended up taking the order block, which comes around the Asia, that was the draw, and then we tapped the first presented on Monday, which is a key factor. And also I didn't mention that again, we closed the 10 a.m. candle here, so it's a really important, because we are in macro once price is trading around the first presented. So this is a key moment in the day. In fact, at 10 a.m. the volatility starts to kick in, so that's also a factor. And then once price comes into the first presentation, then of course you want to get all the position off, or at least the majority of it, and trade your stop. But as you can see, this is choppy price action. Till what? The price does this. Liquidity run at 1049. That's macro, right? Do we have SMT? Yes, we do. Okay. So 2 signs, like here, perfect signs, amazing. What is this? This model is explained on YouTube channel from ICT, and so this one right here is the Venom model. He explained it in his channel, so if you wanna, you can go through it, which pretty much is just a fair value gap that gets inverted with another fair value gap. So that's an entry model in itself. You could have entered there. We then had the CSD. We have the SMT in the place. Everything is pretty much how it's supposed to be. We do have midnight open. We have New York open. This was a good opportunity, and to be honest, I wouldn't really had many targets on it, but again, we do have equal highs here, and we left those, so that would have been maybe something, but this is not my cup of tea. Like, already we had a nice move here, so I would probably be off on this trade. In fact, I didn't actually trade it, but it's just a textbook signature. And then you can see how price comes back, taking all this liquidity out, which you can see a big absorption here, and they tap what? This change in state of delivery. So they kind of giving you another opportunity to jump in this trade. Technically, if you trade the body, then you would have missed it, but they kind of give you another opportunity to get in this trade. And this is the fair value gap, the left open, that which took this high out, so it got respected, and then we got another opportunity to jump in this long, which stopped randomly on the volume imbalance high. That's rather crazy, right? Okay, so there were a bunch of opportunities. I hope you took something, and I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a quick recap. Today price action was really good. I was expecting this PA to be really good today. I couldn't be on the chart, so I couldn't take it on my account on top step, but it doesn't matter. I took it on my phone with my personal, so which it's fine. And yeah, tomorrow is a new day. We're gonna find out what's gonna happen, but for now, cool. Price is staying around these 2 pools of liquidity. It's creating liquidity currently, so we find out tomorrow. We still have some news, so it's gonna be an interesting price action. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, subscribe, and talk to you soon.